Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And for this one, I did sort of briefly mention this in a recent video when I was driving the Class 57 on the York-Peterborough route DLC. And it's also partly based on the most recent video that Jim Plays did in Train Sim World. So it's another freight run, and we are going to be doing the exact same route that Jim did in that video of his. So yeah, we're on the York to Peterborough DLC. We are starting at Doncaster, and our destination is Peterborough. So we are looking at roughly 80 miles. And I've also chosen the same weather conditions, so it is winter. And I've got it set to overcast, which means it could snow, it may not, it's certainly not guaranteed, but it could. And I think that was the weather conditions that Jim's video had. Although in his one it did snow, so it's not guaranteed, but it did. Again, I can't guarantee it will here, but we'll see what happens anyway. The differences are that I've set mine to 9 AM, so it's quite late for a freight run, but at least we'll be able to see what's happening out there. His one was set for, I think it was something like 4 in the morning. It was total darkness and you couldn't see a fucking thing. So yeah, that is one difference. The other difference is the loco. In his one, he was in a 66 and I am in a class 20. In fact, we're in a double header class 20. I'm saying that like it's a surprise. I've put it on the bloody thumbnail, so yeah, you all knew that was coming. And the reason it is a double header is because of the sheer number of wagons we are moving. We are moving 50 of them, and in this sort of weather that could be rather tricky. Now they are all empty, so I've not got the weight to worry about, which Jim had, but yeah, because they are empty and therefore light, the risk of them derailing is greater, and as I've got 50 of the things, yeah, that risk is even higher. So yeah, although I haven't got to contend with the weight that he did, I've got a much higher chance of derailment risk. Thankfully, this particular line we're on is quite straight for the vast majority of it, so we should be okay. I'll emphasise should, but nevertheless we do still have an extremely long, and despite the wagons being empty, it's still a heavy enough freight train, and we are dealing with icy rails. So yeah, conditions far from ideal. I'll also add, this is the Dovetail Games Class 20, not the Just Trains Advanced Class 20, which is not ideal. I'd much rather be using the Just Trains one, but yeah, at the moment I'm still having these issues with creating my own consists, so we'll have to go with this one. It also shows that they've got the double-headed setup wrong. You'll see why or how when the game loads up. So speaking of which, let's get this thing up and running. So here we are, and yeah, you can see from the route display here just how long this train is. 50 wagons, and yeah, there's us in our double header. So let's get the train set up. We'll put the cab lights on because it is rather sort of like murky and dull here. Can't do anything with the headlights. We want instrument lights on. I think that's everything we can do there. I'll put the brakes on for now. I don't want to be moving just yet, but I think that is everything set up. So it's not snowing at the moment. Here is our double header, and as you can see, both our trains are facing the same way. Now the second train should be facing the other way. That's how they always set up these double headers. What we've got coming in here looks like a 56. It is a 56. Yeah, now that is a proper hefty freight train there. So the rear of our train is you know, still on the platform, just. But I mean, you can see the entire green section for Doncaster platform 1. Our train, yeah, goes beyond both ends. So this is a properly long old thing. Right, so the ETA says this run is going to take just shy of an hour and a half, and yep, 79.58 miles to Peterborough. So let's get underway. Now, I am not what you would call great at driving double header trains, and I suspect this run is going to illustrate that oh so clearly. The light will improve, but not hugely. This is pretty much as good as we're going to get. I can't remember the max speed of the Class 20. The fact that we are double-headed means we will be able to go slightly faster than the max. And despite the length of this train, I think the weight will still be relatively okay, so we would be able to go up to 75. However, in these conditions and with this many wagons, I'm very reluctant to go as fast as yeah, as fast as 75. So I'll go up to 70, yeah, 70 will be the max I'll do. But to give you some idea of just how long this thing is, let's watch as it goes by. So there's the two headers, and here we have one or two, or 50 of these wagons. Actually it's 49 of these coal wagons. The 50th wagon is the brake wagon at the very end, which really is not going to be doing very much. There we go. So yeah, that's the train. You can already see it getting lighter, which I must admit is a very welcome sight. Let's take it up to full throttle, get ourselves up to speed. like I say, the possibilities of snow starting to fall cannot be ruled out. So even if it starts off relatively straightforward, there is no guarantee that it's going to stay like that. So having left Doncaster, we've got quite a bit of open country that we're going to be passing through, and yeah, we're not going to be seeing a huge amount, possibly until we reach Newark. Obviously we are not going to be making any stops along the way, unless there are any red signals, but I very much doubt there will be any of those. We can already see that because this is quick drive, it's got us on the wrong line. We're on the 125 mph express line here. We should be on this line next to us on the left. We are going to be holding up to, so many passenger services behind us, and what it should really be doing is, as soon as we reach any passing loops, it should send us onto those and have us waiting for passenger trains to come by. But yeah, it's not going to give us that option, or rather, it's not going to make us do that. I won't be that sorry actually if we don't get any snow, because the wipers on this thing, yeah, they are rather irritating, that noise. Single solitary headlight there. I mean, that is pretty pathetic. That's not doing anything. looks like we've hit our max speed, 68.9. So there's me saying, oh, I don't want to go above 70. In fact, it looks like we can't even get to 70. I'm okay with that. It just means I can leave it in full throttle. We got coming here. It looks like it is an 89. Yeah, District DLC is always determined to convince us that the 89, yeah, we had loads of them running. Do need to do another run in the 89. I've only done the one so far. To this day I'm still amazed that it didn't end in disaster. But yeah, that's something I need to get that one sorted out. The next class 89 run. So, well, we got a curve coming up. We've got a decent sort of momentum here, as have all of the wagons behind us, so there's nothing to worry about. And now we are pretty much gun barrel straight for, well, I think until at least Newark. Another 56. I'm glad I'm not driving that one. Just a whole slew of empty bolsters. Yeah. So in these double-headed trains, I mean, they're great when you are, you know, up and running, going at full, you know, full pelt. It's when you are having to slow down, and even more so when you're trying to stop. That's when they become, yeah, a bit of a headache, to put it mildly. In this particular run, here we are, another passing loop. See, really we should have been diverted onto the passing loop. No, we haven't been. But yeah, this particular run, I mean, I've done it plenty of times, but I'm used to, you know, doing 125 mph on here. The last time I did this run was in a 91. And I've done several other videos on this line, and it's always in, you know, an 800 series. Yeah, it's always high speed. Of course, the class 20, even with a double header, is anything but high speed. In fact, we are doing just over half the speed that, yeah, this line is or the max speed of this line and this particular zone that we are in. We are on a 1 in 200 uphill climb, but again, our momentum combined with the fact that we have 2 of these class 20 engines propelling us means, yeah, absolutely no problem getting up that. Now once we are on the Stoke Bank climb, which again will be 1 in 200 if we're coming from this direction. That one's a bit more sustained, to put it mildly, so that might be slightly trickier insofar as it might actually make some difference. I doubt it, but it may do. Anyway, we do have a diversion coming up. I can't believe it. I mean, it could just be because we're approaching Newark and this is where the crossover is, but well, we'll certainly find out. 50 mph speed limit, that does suggest it. So that's, well, actually I don't know if it's the 50 or the 40, one of those, where we are going to have to cross. So it's actually Retford station. I am not remotely familiar with that one. Yeah, we're getting bumped from the wagons behind us. Obviously we're not just going to be breaking down to 50, we are breaking down to 40. In fact, I'll take it below 40, not by a lot. I did think it seemed a bit quick, us reaching Newark this, this early. So is this where we are moving? Yes, it is. So we are in the 40 zone. Everything seems to be going well so far. So here is Retford Station, which I really don't remember. Clearly I go through it fairly often though, because yeah, there's no diversion around it. I mean, there are these, the 2 express lines are avoiding the station. Moved back onto the main line. we're now onto the 120 zone again. So yeah. Well, that could happen through all of the stations that we will be approaching and going through. Not a problem. Right. We have a max speed decrease coming up down to 115. That's going to impact on our timing. Something fierce, isn't it? There we go, another class 89 light engine. So that's the second one we've seen. Yeah, completely empty area again. So we are on another 1 in 200 climb, and again it has no impact on how we're doing at all. Very nearly back to the max speed cap. Still squeezing another 0.2 mph out of this thing. So Believe me, we will. That curve we've just come off once again illustrates what I was saying about, yeah, it's gun barrel straight until we reach Newark. Yeah, I know my stuff. Here we go again here. In-cab audio certainly does phase quite a bit, but it doesn't the dovetail gains like the Just Trains version. Yeah, don't do that at all. So we have made it to 68.9 mph. That is our top. Weather conditions so far are not giving us any problems whatsoever. What have we got here? It's another 89. So that's the third. Yeah, 389, sorry. I mean, at least with that one where it showed it in service, I mean, there is a degree of accuracy there. The 89 did actually enter service. But it entered service about 2 or 3 times. And now that they've just finished sort of like refitting and repairing the thing, it's back up and running again. There is talk of it entering service again. Now I think that is highly unlikely. But, I mean, the thing is not a museum piece. It should still be up and running. And I really do think that they should have built more than just one. But, yeah, actually re-entering regular service, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know what they've got planned for it. But it is at least good to see that it's, yeah, up and moving again. The only part that does sort of like have me a bit sort of, well, I wonder where the sensitivity is. It's a loco that was very much built with the intention of running on the East Coast Main Line here. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's ideal for the East Coast Main Line. So of course, where have they kept it? Yep, Preston. That's more like it. The good old 43. I can imagine, yeah, class 43 drivers on this line probably didn't pass too many class 20 double headers. again at a passing loop, which we really should be using. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we are holding up a lot of passenger trains behind us by now. And Peterborough is less than 50 miles away, so yeah, we're 30 miles into this journey. Another 43 comes by. Absolutely no sign of civilization anywhere. ETA has us at 50 minutes, so less than an hour to go. So we have already shaved off something like 5 minutes from the original ETA. Speed reduction coming up in 1.5 miles down to 100. I think we'll be alright. Oh, but thankfully, yeah, it's less than half a mile long, that 100 zone. I mean, we're back into the 125 zone, so yeah, we'll be fine. I'll stick my neck out and predict that. So yeah, it looked like just complete sheet ice. I think that's what it is. I don't know if that is a natural lake or if that is a reservoir. So Newark station is coming up. Now, I would have thought we'd need to slow down for there, but clearly not. So that river, which I can only assume is the Trent. But at least it does confirm that we are now in the Midlands. Now in the 100 zone. There's the crossover point where the Midlands main line between Nottingham and Lincoln. is a run I have done in another video. I did that in a Class 67, and not for the first time. I really did take the wrong train for that run. So that is Newark that we have just been through. Newark station anyway. See what this is coming up. Oh, it's another 89. Yeah. Of course it is. So that's the fourth. Well, so far this route has been absolutely no bother whatsoever. Although that is certainly helped by the fact that, yeah, we have not had to go into any of the passing routes. So this is another of those occasions where, yeah, if I'd made my own scenario and tried to make it a bit more realistic, i.e. having us, you know, making a stop in every single one of the passing loops, because there is absolutely no doubt that there are passenger service who are stuck behind us, and they've now been stuck, yeah, the whole way since we left Doncaster, and they're still going to be stuck behind us when we reach Peterborough. So all these 125 mph capable express trains are doing at best 68. We are now on a, okay, we were on a 1 in 220 uphill. Again, wasn't having any effect on us. fast approaching the Stoke Bank sort of flats. You know, we might even be on them now. But we certainly won't be breaking any speed records on this run. Hoping for a trackside here. On this line, surely we would get some. I guess not, or at least not yet. So we have a speed reduction coming up down to 115. Yeah, we're all right there. Right, so yeah, we must surely be on Stoke Bank now. It's 1 in 200 we're on. So this goes on for a few miles until we hit the Stoke Bank tunnel itself, which I think is coming up. This tunnel goes on for a fair old distance. I thought it was longer than that. We have another speed decrease coming up as well in a mile and a half, down to 100. Yeah, I think we'll be alright for that and all. So that's why the speed decreases there. Grantham Station. Again, we'll just hurtle on through it. There are still 125 MPH zones to come because they keep on appearing until we reach Welling Garden City, and that's in another DLC, that's not even in this one. So there's Grantham. I don't know if it's a town or a city, to be honest, I don't really care. Grantham is not my favourite place in the world. It is the town that gave us Thatcher, so yeah, if ever a town had a reason I hate it, it's this one. Here is Grantham Station. With another 89 light engine going through, so that's the 5th 89. So in fact what I was saying about, oh yeah, we were in Stoke Bank and going through the Stoke Bank tunnel, yeah, completely wrong. This is Stoke Bank. Grantham does not sit right within the Stoke Bank flats. Also explain why that tunnel felt so short, because it wasn't the tunnel I was thinking of. Another passing loop that we've just gone straight past without using. Still no sign of any snow, or any snow falling. It's starting to look like there isn't going to be any. this is surely the Stoke Bank Tunnel. It looks very short. Yeah, it was shorter than I thought it would be, but yeah, that definitely was the Stoke Bank Tunnel. So now we're on 1 in 78 downhill. We might pick up a bit of speed here. This is where the Class 91 took the speed record from the APT. There's yet another 89 passes by. So yeah, we are picking up speed. We're at 69.1 now. Probably not a good idea to be going much faster than this, but I don't particularly want to slam on the brakes at the moment either. Speed is decreasing slightly. So of course the Stoke Bank is also the area where the Mallard broke the steam speed record and knackered its engine in the process. But it was going the other way. It was using the 1 in 200 climb that we were going up towards the tunnel. Of course it was a descent for the Mallard as it was going the other way. Still not going to give us a trackside view, is it? Nope. This looks like 56. Completely empty bolsters in tow. I would not fancy driving there. Peterborough is now just 20 miles away. ETA says that yeah, it's going to take us just over 20 minutes to get there. Given our current speed, yeah, that looks about right. We're still on this 1 in 178 downhill section. This is still the Stoke Bank, so our speed is a bit faster than it normally would be. now leveled out and our speed has returned to its previous max. So, no getting away from it. This has been absolutely plain sailing pretty much from the moment we left Doncaster. But the really tricky part is, of course, coming up. Getting us to slow down in a controlled way. Being able to stop at Peterborough station itself. I mean, this train really does show that we needed ways of starting and stopping at freight depots. I'm sure there are freight depots on this section of the East Coast Main Line somewhere. It's class 43. I thought it was another 89. Let's have another go. Right, third time lucky? No. Well, even if it does start snowing now, it will start off so light that I won't need these noisy bloody things going. But yeah, I don't think it is going to snow. So distance to Peterborough is now in single digits, less than 10 miles. Turn the cab lights off as well now. Don't really need them anymore. Plenty of high-speed passenger trains going the other way, but down in King's Cross they're probably wondering what the hell's happened to all the passenger trains coming in from the north, because they're all stuck behind me. And yet another 89. I've lost count how many of those we've seen now. There might be 7 of them. Right, well I think it's time to start coasting. Because, yeah, Peterborough is now, well, roughly 5.5 miles away. I say, I don't want to be slamming on the brakes rather suddenly. I want to be doing it very gradually indeed. So, yeah, we'll let the speed come down a bit through us coasting along. So even though we are only 4.5 miles from Peterborough, I mean, it still looks alright. We're in the middle of nowhere. I realise Cambridgeshire does have quite a lot of, you know, rural places, and there's a lot of farmland here, but you'd think there'd be a few more signs of civilization than, well, than this. Speed decrease coming up down to 115 in a mile and a half. I think we're alright there. In fact, I've started coasting far too early, haven't I? Now we're starting to see some signs of life. And plenty of it. So we are going to be changing over points just as we enter Peterborough station, so let's start our very gradual braking. Car 66 light engine. Single flashing, the next one will be single solid yellow. line there. We'll continue braking, and we're fine as far as the speed for the 30 mph limit there is concerned. Clearly see that there is no way we're going to get the entire train on this platform. I'm hoping that the signal beyond Peterborough station is not red, because the rate at which we are braking, I don't think we will be able to stop before it. So I think that is a red. In fact, that red is for the line next to us. We're okay, we have the green. As it is, I think this is a pretty good place to stop. Oh, we've got a couple of bumps there. There we are. We made it. So that was, yeah, the rear is absolutely fine there. So that was Doncaster to Peterborough in a yeah, double-headed class 20 with 50 coal wagons. And I thought that was going to be a lot more difficult than it turned out to be. I don't think it's because I was driving it really well, because yeah, I didn't really see very much, but there you go, not a single operational error, so I will absolutely take that. But yeah, it was nowhere near as challenging as I thought it would be. So I think if I'm going to challenge myself on freight runs, I may need to, yeah, either make the weather conditions even worse, or look for an alternative route, not the East Coast Main Line. Anyway, there we go. It went pretty well, no doubt about that. But yeah, so that is that video done, and we will see you at the next one.